the different types of marriages, and I have started with the first form, which is exogamy. In exogamy, let me do a quick recap. I started with the explanation of the meaning of exogamy. I gave you the definition of exogamy. We also learned the reasons why exogamy is practiced as given by different anthropologists, and especially in relation to the Hindu religion, we looked at the various exogamous restrictions on marriages for individuals, where Gotra exogamy, Pravara exogamy and Sapinda exogamy are different types of exogamy practiced amongst the Hindus. Today we will go with the second form or the type of marriage, which is called endogamy. Exogamy and endogamy might sound very similar to you. This is the reason why for your board examinations also, as an objective question, most of the time you get this question, differentiate between exogamy and endogamy for 2 marks. For the long question, you might get explain the concept of endogamy in relation to the Hindu religion. So just like we explained or we saw the different restrictions based on, the Gotra and Pravara and Sapinda exogamy amongst the Hindus, today we will also look at endogamy from that angle. So let's begin with the class on the definition of endogamy. What is endogamy? In the Indian context, caste endogamy is most common, which means that the popular form in the Indian society, the popular form of marriage that is practiced is caste endogamy. Exogamy means to marry outside the group. Endogamy means to marry within the group, which leaves us with the explanation that if the same society tells you not to marry your family members, not to marry somebody from the same gotra, not to marry somebody from the same clan, it is again the same society which prescribes a marriage for you, which says you have to marry within the same caste, you have to marry within the same religion. So if you get married to individual within the group, for example, Hindu marrying a Hindu, or probably you might have the same caste, a Brahmin marrying a Brahmin. This concept is known as endogamy. Even some tribes are endogamous, like Gonds who marry within their own tribe. In some societies which are stratified along the class lines, a member marries his own class. Now the caste system, C-A-S-T-E, caste system, is an Indian concept. We have in the Hindu religion 4 different types of caste. The Hindus, the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas and the Shudras. So endogamous restriction says that a Brahmin has to marry a Brahmin only. But what about other societies where we do not find the existence of a caste system? In most of the Western societies, we have the concept of class system, C-L-A-S-S, class, wherein somebody belonging to a middle class might marry a middle class person only, or upper class, like for example the royalties, never married somebody below a commoner. They always had this rule, of getting married to somebody within their group. This form of marriage is known as endogamy. Now, Erickson found in a sense all human groups are both endogamous and exogamous. So like I said before, we have the society which prescribes us certain do's and don'ts. So don't means don't marry your family member, don't marry somebody from the same clan, but marry somebody from within the same religion. Marry somebody from the same, you can children and sibling in Europe are virtually everywhere seen as a close kin. But when in the definition you see the word within the group does not mean you marry a close relative. That is a big no. That is forbidden, prohibited. You can marry somebody from the same tribe. You can marry somebody of the same nationality. You can marry somebody from the same, you can say religion, same caste, but that does not mean you marry somebody who is related to you. Among the Hindus, now let's come to the Hindu concept of endogamy. We have caste or religion. The practice of endogamy among the Hindus is classified into three categories. One is Varna endogamy, caste endogamy, and subcaste endogamy. Now, Varna endogamy, caste endogamy, and subcaste endogamy, basically, if you look at the concept, it comes to the same thing. It means the same thing. Varna. Varna is a Hindi word, right? Varna means division. Varna also means complexion. Now, one of the caste theories, a lot of people are interested with this concept of this caste system. How did it originate? Alright? What are the different theories related to the caste system? Many people would like to know about that. One of the, you can say, factors or one of the theories behind the caste system is the Varna system. Now, Varna system tells us that once upon a time, people were classified as per the color of their complexion. Varna meaning the color of your complexion. Meaning, somebody who was very fair came under the category of Brahmins. Somebody who was a little bit wheatish came under the Kshatriyas, and the darkest one would fall under the, the Shudras. That is the Varna theory as to how caste system might have developed. Varna also means division, right? So therefore, Varna endogamy says the Varna system is a fourfold division of the Hindu society where we have four castes. Hinduism has a caste system where we have four castes. And what are the four castes? Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Now, then it says here that Brahmin, we can underline, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. According to the practice of Varna endogamy, a Brahmin should only marry a Brahmin. So endogamy says marry within the group. If you are a Brahmin, and caste system always had this hierarchy, the position system, number 1, 2, 3, 4 was always there. The system of discrimination was also present in this caste society. Therefore, if you were a Brahmin, you were expected to marry only a Brahmin. Kshatriya was to marry only a Kshatriya. And if a Brahmin married a Kshatriya, this was considered as a degradation, alright, in their caste status. So therefore, Varna endogamy explains that individuals were expected to marry within the group. Let's come to caste endogamy. It means practically the same thing. The rule prescribes that marriage is only allowed within one's own caste. The same thing. The third is subcaste, or even among the caste, you have certain divisions, right? Even a caste is divided into subcaste. So if you happen to belong to a category of subcaste, now that you have understood the concept, the group, the individuals within that subcaste had to marry each other. Each subcaste of the caste is considered as an endogamous unit for the purpose of marriage. Among the Hindus, as a result of these rules, the choice of marriage may ultimately be restricted to a series of kin clusters living in fairly restricted geographical area. So again we come to the problem. So if you have to marry within the same group, if you have to marry within the same tribe, if you have to marry particular group of individuals, and sometimes it could also mean your close kin. So here what happened is that if the kins were scattered into different geographical areas and connection cannot be developed, then that kind of marriage was also possible. Now, again, let us look at the reasons for endogamy. Why does the society tell you not to marry from within the group? And why does the same society tell you to marry from within the same group? Please write number 1. Please write number 1 in your textbook, 1.42. Textbook page 1.42. Due to the general fear of the strange, unknown and novel, almost all the Indian tribes are endogamous. So the first reason is why they told the individuals to marry within the same group is due to the fear of unknown and strange things. In the, you can say, past years, what happened is that people were very, very scared of the other groups. They were all superstitious. Equally, they were frightened, alright? Therefore, instead of getting married to somebody from outside, who is a stranger, you don't know that person properly, and at the same time they were also very scared of this witchcraft and sorcery, etc. They thought it is better to marry somebody from the same group. Right, number 2. The fear of neighbors' witchcraft and sorcery is the main cause for Korwa endogamy. There is an Indian tribe called the Korwas. And the Korwas, what they used to do is that they were very scared of witchcraft and sorcery. In the olden days, a lot of tribes also used to practice black magic. And this black magic was basically, right, to kill somebody, to harm somebody, to make somebody very, very weak, powerless, like that. So witches, now these are all, superstitions and taboos. Witches, sorcery, witchcraft, they were practiced. So the tribes felt, or the group felt, if you bring somebody from outside, who knows, they might bring a lot of these black magic, a lot of these witchcraft and sorcery into your group. Best is to marry, to be on the safer side, to feel secure. It is best to marry somebody from the same group. Third, many tribes want to preserve and maintain the uniqueness of culture, language and other social traits. Hence, they do not want to marry outsiders. Last time we saw that one of the reasons for exogamy was men wanted to vary. They wanted to try out new things. They were very bored. So if you marry somebody who is an outsider, you will learn about different culture, you will learn about different traditions, religion, mannerisms. That was one reason. This tendency to vary. But endogamy says some of the tribes wanted to preserve the purity, the uniqueness. They looked at other individuals as outsiders. So outsiders, if you get married to them, that means it will lead to, again, a kind of mixing, a kind of blending. You will not have that uniqueness, the purity will be lost. So therefore, they thought no. So that's why Brahmin will marry a Brahmin. Naga will marry a Naga. Now if a Naga gets married to, let's say a Gond, there's a Naga boy who gets married to a Gond girl. This way, the children will be brought up in the mixed culture. If you want the purity of the Naga breed or the Naga tribe, then it will be best if you allow the individuals to marry within the group. Last but not least, you can number it. Number 4. Sometimes differences of language and culture will cause distance between spouses. Now this is quite evident that not all people are same. Even within families, we find that the children who are there might have differences of opinion. Sometimes we do argue with our parents. It is not necessarily that even if you are family members, you're related to one another, everyone should have the same opinion is not necessary. So if you marry somebody from outside, you might have clashes, you might have differences, you might have discrimination. So people avoid a marriage which may cause such difficulty. So therefore, these are the 4 reasons why endogamy was practiced. So today we have looked at endogamy. In the next session, we will look at this marriage called cousin marriage. Thank you very much, and in my offline classes I will be giving you notes and also giving you assignments for these two types of marriage, exogamy